Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Hindustani along with my friend Ankit Jain, and we are here to present on the topic CSS and frameworks. So as we all are aware of what is CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Suite. It is used to define the visual presentation of a web page, how a web page will appear when we will open it. It is used along with HTML. HTML is used to provide the basic structure of a web page, and we use CSS for doing the basic styling of that web page. There are key features of CSS. There are basically three features of CSS. It keeps the content and the styles separated, and the second feature is it helps us to produce the responsive designs. The third feature is customizations. It offers us extensive customization to our visual appearance of the website. Now we will move towards types of CSS. Basically, there are three types of CSS which we work with. The first one is inline CSS. It is used with the HTML element using style attribute, and the second one is internal CSS. In internal CSS, we use the style tag in the head of the HTML document, and we define all the style which we are going to use in that head section. And the third one is external CSS. External CSS, we create a separate CSS file and then link it using the link tag in HTML. So this is the basic syntax of HTML, basic syntax of CSS, how we access any element in the HTML to apply that CSS. So here the first one is H1. It is a selector. Basically, this example illustrates this H1. All the headings which are H1, this particular style will apply to that heading H1, in which the color of that heading will be changed to blue. The font size will be 12 pixels. And there are three properties. That is selector. H1 is selector. Here we write all the elements or in HTML document which we want to target specifically for changing the style. Then the second one is property. These are the properties. There are many various properties such as color, font size, and many more properties. And after that column, we provide the value for that property. So there are some basic selectors in CSS. So each selector have different roles to play. Here the asterisk is a universal selector, which if we are using asterisk, then the style which we provide in asterisk, it will be applied to all over the HTML. And the second type is type selector, in which we provide a particular type, that is H1, H2, H3. So the CSS will apply to that particular type. Similarly, there is class selector. Class selector, in this we use the dot notation, dot, and after that the class name to select that particular class, and the CSS will be applied to all the elements in that class. Then we have the ID selector. In ID, it is similar to class selector. In ID selector, we use has for selecting that particular ID. And then there is group selector, in which we can select by multiple variables by separating them using commas. And then there is a descent selector. The descent selector, it targets the elements that are inside that element. As if in this we have selected a div and then p. So in this particular example, we are selecting all the paras that are within the div class. Now there is a child selector which selects the immediate child of that particular element. In this, we are targeting a UL, and after that we are targeting LI, means we are targeting the list icons of an ordered list in this particular example. And now then there is an adjacent sibling selector. Adjacent sibling selector selects, we use plus and the two siblings, and by using this selector we target the direct sibling of the any element, in this example which we have H1. And then there is a general sibling selector, H1 plus P. This gives all the paragraphs in the H1 heading. Then we have the attribute selector. It is input type equals to text. It selects the type of the attribute. All the attributes which have input type equals to text will be selected in this type of selector. Then we have pseudo selector. Pseudo selector, for our example, it is a::hover, which implies the style when we hover on any anchor tag. So, and then we have pseudo selector. It is p first line, which selects the first line of any paragraph, and similar pseudo selectors we have before and after also, which will apply the style before and after the particular paragraph or any tag which we are using. Now we have properties in CSS. CSS have various properties to make our presentation, make our web page more appealing. So there are some, namely there are color, which we can change the text color, font size, font family. Font size allows us to change the size of the font family. There are various font families which are supported for our web page. And then we have margin, padding, and border. Margin is used to provide the gap between the two different containers. Padding is used to maintain the gap or padding between the content and the border of the container. And then background border, it is used to provide the border. There are various options for border. We can make the border bold or dark, and we can also give the radius to the border and many more functions. And then we have background color, background image with height and display. This display is the main, it is widely used and it is most important also. And then the position and display are used to make our websites more responsive. By using display and position, we can make our website more responsive. Now moving forward to CSS box model. CSS box model, every element in our web page, we have a box model for it associated with it. In box model, there are four basic parts. The center part, it is the element. The outer part, the just outer part is the padding. Then it is the border, and then is the margin. So margin allows us to space between allows us to enter space between various elements. Then the border, which we can apply or not, it is our choice to make it visible or not. And then the padding, which separates our main content from the border. So we can change various values of padding so to adjust our content in the center inside that border. Now we have CSS flexbox model. CSS flexbox model, it is associated with display flex, which is used to make our website responsive. So we have two major components, which is flex container and flex items. Flex container is associated with the element which we have made display flex, and then we have flex items, which are the items present in that container. So flexbox is basically used to provide the space between the items of a container. So there are various, basically there are two axes in which we particularly work. There is a main axis and there is a cross axis. Main axis is in x-axis and cross axis is y-axis. So we can give the direction of our flex, which is row wise or column wise, and then we can change the various attributes to. There are various attributes such as space between start and. These are the attributes which will align our elements to that particular position. So basically container properties are display, flex direction, justify content. Justify content is used to align our items on the main axis, and align items is used to adjust our contents on the y-axis, that is cross axis. And align content, in the item properties is basically for the items which are contained in that container. So first one is order. In this order, we can define the order of our elements inside the container. In this, we have order 2, means if we have 4 elements in this order, and for that element which we have mentioned order 2, it will be positioned at second place. And then we have flex grow and flex shrink. These are the attributes which makes our website responsive. We can this allows to shrink or expand the contents depending on the space which they are provided. and then there is flex basis. Flex basis, its initial size of the atom before flex grow and flexing, it is the initial size. And then we have align self. This will align over the cross axis to the center, align centers. And then demo, sir, it is in my laptop. दूसरे laptop में sir, it is in my laptop sir, वो connect नहीं हो रहा था इस laptop में नहीं ऐसे भी sir, I have put some. This is the basic back page which I have designed using basic HTML and basic CSS, and this is the basic CSS code which is used in this, and I can show you in my laptop. Now I will hand over to Ankit.
So far as we discuss about the CSS part in detail, as the Ankush tell about what is Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a open source front end which provides CSS templates and various templates used in use cases various companies. So far Bootstrap का demo. So वो भी laptop में. Code has snippets.
बाकी का अटेंडेंस